To the channel. This is Crypto Kid here. Thank you so much for joining. Today is obviously the FOMC meeting. The markets are super volatile. The markets are very, very volatile actually right now. And we're going to do a quick analysis into the markets before we see the FOMC meeting. We're going to look at some of the stats, some of the data. But again, thank you guys so much for joining. Make sure to leave a like in the video. That would be very appreciated. I'm hearing my own voice. Sorry for that. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. Now I'm going to jump into the chart of Bitcoin very quick because it is super volatile. So let me share my screen to the window and let me see. Let's go to TradingView and let me see what I'm sharing. So this is the DXY that I'm sharing right now. And I hope the stream is working nice. Please do leave a comment if it's going very nice and the audio is fine. So I'll continue. Yeah, looks good. Okay, so let's go to Bitcoin. So this is the DXY. I'm going to show you guys why the DXY is important. But this is the Bitcoin chart. Okay, and we're at a very, very critical position for Bitcoin. If you've watched some of the last videos, you'll understand why. I did a bullish scenario and a bearish scenario. This is currently the daily chart for Bitcoin, and I'm going to jump into what the FOMC meeting is being held. Let me show you very quickly, actually, because I don't want you guys to miss out on that. So let me stop sharing this, and let me share my window and Brave tab. So let me go to share window, share Brave tab. I haven't done this in a while. I haven't done a live in a while. But if I share this, you guys can head over to the Federal Reserve's official Twitter page. And if you head over here, they have posted the link to the official press conference right over there. So make sure to go check that out and watch it live also with this video at the same time. And I'm going to quickly check also what's going on. So I'm going to keep this muted and I want to stay up to date as well what's going on here. But let's head over to the Bitcoin chart again once more. Let me stop sharing that. And let me share another window of the Bitcoin chart. There we go. Okay, awesome. So let's do a very quick analysis and let's see where we could potentially head to. So I'm going to start off with the weekly chart for my analysis. And this is what we can see on the weekly chart. Now, if you watched a couple of videos ago, we discussed the bullish and bearish scenarios. And with the bullish scenario, I was showing this very important trend line. The first thing that I was showing was over here, we had this massive touch. Over here, we had this massive touch also. And very recently, we again retested this trend line once more. And we calculated the average, let me see if everything's working fine. Yeah, everything's working cool. So make sure to leave a like, guys, if you enjoy the video. That helps push in the algorithm. And again, that's all I ask for in exchange, right? So let's have a look at the average return that we saw from each of these trend line hits. So over here, we saw once we hit the trend line, we saw a 310%, almost 310% return from the top of this, swing high when Bitcoin retested to this trend line. And then we saw another incredible increase in price to, of course, the huge bull market that we had that was around a 1,000% increase on leverage. Now, these are stupendous numbers, and I'm not, thinking that we're going to see a massive run like this. But another incredibly bullish scenario is that we have seen a parabolic SAR buy on the weekly chart in accordance with this trend line hit. Now, the parabolic SAR, especially on larger time frames like the weekly chart, it is known to be super accurate. So the first time, I'm going to show you a couple of examples. The chart is very crowded right now. I'm going to get rid of some. So let's get rid of the Consensio and let's get rid of the moving averages. So as you can see, we had a very nice buy on the parabolic SAR here, which took us into the next bull market, of course. And over here, we saw a huge buy on the parabolic SAR, which again took us to this top on Bitcoin. And the sells are working pretty well too. The parabolic SAR put a sell here. And again, we're in this bear market. However, now that seems to be invalidated with the parabolic SAR, and we could see the potential the next bull market. But personally, do I think this is going to happen? No. Why? Because I think that, we're seeing the news that, the recession is over and, we're no longer in a recession and we're coming out of that and inflation is dropping. I'm going to show you some stats right now as well. We're currently at $23,000 on Bitcoin. Let me quickly check the chat. And okay, so let me show you some of the stats that we're seeing for inflation and interest rates. So let me share my Brave tab again. What we want to see is the inflation rate. So this is the inflation rate which I'm sharing right now. And inflation on paper, we have been decreasing significantly, and inflation dropping, that is what we want. And the Fed has forecasted that we will see a inflation percentage drop to around 2% by the end of this year, which is phenomenal, right? That is what we want. And if that continues to happen, hypothetically, recession should be over as well. But when you go into the grocery store, when you see the foods, when you purchase your milk, when you purchase your meat, when you purchase your everyday items, you see that the actual inflation is, of course, above what is shown on screen, right? So people are losing their jobs. You see news on Twitter, you see news everywhere that every tech sector, every tech company is firing people. And again, when you raise interest rates, what the Fed tries to do is it's telling people you need to save your money. You shouldn't be going out there and spending your money. You should be saving your money. So when that happens, right, hypothetically, prices need to drop for people to buy again, and this causes recession to be subtly over with. But again, personally, I think we're going to see the lasting effects of the recession a bit more. Even though we're seeing like slowing down news from the Fed with the inflation rate dropping, I think we will see this continue on for another couple of months, but that's personally my opinion. But let's jump into the Bitcoin chart again once more. I'm going to share the screen because we can do a full analysis. And for all the new people joining, guys, make sure to leave a like in the video. Again, really appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much, as always, for supporting the videos. I couldn't ask for anything more. So again, let's have a look at Bitcoin, and I'm going to jump into the daily chart because we did our macro analysis just now. So when we jump into the daily chart, we have this going on, right? So we had this massive push to the upside on the daily chart, and this was caused by the CPI announcement. Now, the CPI, which is what I showed right now, the CPI was super bullish. It dropped to 6.5%, and of course, this is a pretty bullish situation for stocks and assets like Bitcoin. And by the way, a disclaimer: nothing in this video is financial advice. This is just my personal analysis and my personal opinion only. So make sure to do your own research before trading or investing. However, a tip that I can give you is that in big news announcements like this, I personally don't like to trade because it is just too volatile. And even though you have hints of where stuff is going to go, you just never know. And especially with an asset like Bitcoin, it is just too volatile. So if you're not an experienced trader, I don't recommend trading the news because there's always sell the news, buy the rumor, sell the news going on, and it's just too unpredictable. So that's a tip I would give. But when we go back into the chart of Bitcoin, when we saw this massive push from the CPI news, which I just shared as well, we saw a very nice bull flag forming on Bitcoin over here, which we broke to the upside very nicely. Now, this is a bull flag that's forming on Bitcoin, and we did see a fake out over here, and I did make a video about this. And on the Telegram channel, which I'm going to show you right now, it's in the link in the description below. I'll show it later. I did say that this could be a fake out, so be careful. It's completely for free, so check the description below. Make sure to join. I share my analysis when I can upload videos because, of course, it's way quicker. And follow me on Twitter as well. That's also in the link in the description below. But I said this could be a fake out, so watch out. And we did see a parabolic SAR sell. So important places to watch before this Fed meeting is announced and the Fed rates are announced is right over here. So for a bullish breakout, we really need to be watching out for this $23,284 range. And for a breakdown that we could potentially see is the $22,550 range. Now, if we zoom out a little bit more, we're actually at a very important level already, which is this yellow trend line that you are seeing. So if I jump into the weekly chart once more, we could see that this yellow trend line has been an incredibly huge resistance over the last couple of months, since the November of last year, since the top of 2021, sorry, not last year. But as you can see, we have had multiple touches here, multiple touches there, and we are touching it once more. And if we successfully break out of this candle within the next 4 days and 5 hours, and we retest with volume, then we could potentially see a $27,666 Bitcoin, which upon if we pass the next resistance would be $31,748. Now, how I'm measuring this is with this parallel channel that we've seen on Bitcoin since the 13th of June of last year, which we have been in and which we've broken to the downside, of course, as well over here. And we have retested back to this trend line and made our way back in. If we had broken down from here, this would have been crazy. And then we could have seen that 12K Bitcoin. But it is amazing that we have stayed and we are still vigilant in the price. Now, the first target for the initial target for this parallel channel breakout, which we're literally retesting right now, which I said that $24,000 is a very important support resistance for Bitcoin, that which we need to break. The first conservative target would be the half of this channel. So once you put that up, that takes you to around $27,600. And the ambitious target is this full target here, which takes you up to $31,000. So this is Bitcoin. This is what we can expect on Bitcoin. If I jump into the 4-hourly chart, go into a bit more into close up in the chart, we are still bouncing in this channel that we're forming and this bull flag that we're still retaining. A very good thing on the 4-hourly chart is that we saw a parabolic SAR buy on the 4-hourly, which is super, super insane, meaning that we could potentially break from the upside here because this wick has surpassed this parabolic SAR resistance. And if we break out, then our target could be $24,000. And if we even pass $24,000, then you could be looking at around a $27,600 Bitcoin, which is crazy. But again, I personally don't like to trade news. I'm not opening any positions right now because it's just too simply risky for me. And also something else that we can see on Bitcoin on the 4-hourly chart is this. We could see a bearish continuation pattern on Bitcoin, which is forming on the 4-hourly chart. So you would take this continuation and you could see that if we put it below, then the target for Bitcoin could be a $22,000 Bitcoin, which again, we'd have to see and observe. If we break down from this resistance of $22,900, then we could see this potential scenario happening. But before that happens, we have significant support at $22,566. Now, I'm going to quickly check the stream and then I'm going to look into a few more of the analysis. Guys, stay tuned. Stay tuned. I'm going to check the chat if there's anything happening. Thank you guys so much for watching again, as always. And I'm going to show you a few more of the stats that we can see, predictions for the interest rates. So let me share the predictions that we are expected for the interest rates. And let me see, Brave tab, and we want to see over here. Okay, there we go. So this is something I found. It's by this guy called Yoda Research. These are the possibilities. These are the possible outcomes that he has tweeted about for Bitcoin. So it's saying if we have dovish, meaning that we're expected to let me change to this actually. So we're expected to have a 5 basis point increase rather than a 50 basis point increase. And if we have a 50 basis point increase and they decide to shock us with the news, then that would be insanely bearish for Bitcoin. That could cause Bitcoin to literally collapse into the downside, and we have a huge wick, as we talked about the potential supports for Bitcoin there. We could go lower. However, if we go with the expected 25 basis point increase, then again, that's still okay for Bitcoin. Even though interest rates are going up, which usually causes stocks to have a downturn, it won't be as bad, in my opinion, as it would have been with a 50 basis point increase. Now, if I show you this data as well over here, so I'm going to share this tab. This is by Gurgavin. Again, I really like him. He's pretty credible on the Twitter social media, so you could follow him as well at Gurgavin. These are the predictions of the basis points from major banks. No one is predicting 50 basis points. You can see Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, HSBC, they're all predicting 25 basis points. So if we saw a 50 basis point increase, which is super unlikely in my opinion, it would be super shocking. It would be super bearish for Bitcoin. So we need to keep an eye for that. And let me go back to the press conference. Let me see what's happening in the press conference. And guys, stay up to date. Check Twitter, keep refreshing. It should be announced in 15 minutes. So I'm going to see and check the chat for any questions or anything that you may want to ask right now. So I'm just checking the chat for your information. If you want to add something there, let me know. And also leave a like in the video, and that would be much appreciated. So I'm going to show you the DXY analysis as well right now, and the S&P 500 analysis. So let me share my chart to the S&P 500 and DXY. So I want to share my window. I want to share this. So there we go. Okay. So this is the S&P. Now the S&P is of course very important because the S&P and the Bitcoin are super correlated. So whatever S&P does, it is super correlated with the price of Bitcoin. So that's why it's important to analyze the S&P 500 as well. So on the S&P 500, we also have a very nice trend line similar to that of Bitcoin's. We have a beautiful touch here. We have a couple of very nice touches here, and we're currently, retested from that and had a little bit of a rally. We're also forming a ascending triangle on the S&P 500, which is super bullish. And another thing that's super bullish for the S&P is we've broken out from this descending parallel channel. And if we could retest with volume, that would be amazing for the S&P, and we could potentially see a $4,300 S&P. Now, if that happens, then Bitcoin would follow and Bitcoin would increase as well. It's also a very nice resistance here. You could see we had a beautiful touch over here on the daily chart, and we also had multiple retests on this support, this resistance line also. And we're currently in the golden pocket for the S&P 500. So again, we're at a very, very critical moment, and I cannot stress that enough. So this interest rate announcement will be super, super significant in terms of what we can see. We're also seeing an inverse head and shoulders on the S&P 500, meaning if we break through this neckline of around $4,070, we're exactly there, and more so the $4,090 range, then we could see a mini rally on the S&P 500, and this would reflect on the price of Bitcoin, causing us to see a potential $27,600 Bitcoin, which I think is possible if we see the stuff that we need to see. However, if the interest rates are not as we expect, then it would be pretty hard. Now, I'm going to see the DXY as well. Now, the reason why I'm sharing the DXY is because if you don't know, the Bitcoin and the DXY, which is the dollar, the US dollar, the US dollar, how can I say it? It's the strength of the US dollar. So when the DXY falls, Bitcoin tends to increase. And when the DXY increases, Bitcoin tends to fall. So that's why I want to conduct some analysis on the DXY as well. We still have 12 minutes, I believe, before the announcement of the FOMC, which will be very, very important. So on the MACD, we could see that we have a bullish cross on the DXY. However, I don't think it's going to last that long. And to be honest, so if we check the weekly chart for the DXY, we are seeing some doji candles here. That's pretty important. And we're actually at a very important resistance for the DXY because doji candles, especially ones like these, we can see a shooting star in this one. If we close like this, this could indicate a reversal on the price on the DXY. And we can see that we're forming a kind of a head and shoulders pattern, if you want to call it. This could be what could be happening right now. And if that is the case, then we could be on track to retest back to this support over here. So at $104, 104.5. And if that happens, that would cause a mini retest to the downside on Bitcoin, because as the DXY increases, Bitcoin tends to have a fall. So this is pretty important. If this happens and we retest back here, then we could be forming a head and shoulders on the DXY, meaning that this would actually be pretty good for Bitcoin in the long term, even though it's not great in the short term. Now, I want to check into the 1 hourly chart for Bitcoin just to see what's going on in the very, very immediate short term. We can see crazy wicks right now. It's pretty volatile. Again, we could see, let me get rid of this line. Actually, to make it a bit more clear, I'm going to get rid of this major trend line, which I talked about earlier on in the live stream. So this is what we could see. We could see a potential bearish continuation on the 1 hourly chart for the people that have just joined us. And if we break to the downside from here at around $22,900, our target for Bitcoin could be around the $22,000 area. And guys, personally, I believe that Bybit is the best place for derivatives. And if you use the link in the description below, you can get up to a $30,000 deposit bonus, which is of course better than nothing. And also, I have a free Telegram group in the in the description below. Can't speak. In the description below, and I put their updates, technical analysis updates and other stuff for completely for free. So make sure to join down below. But we are 10 minutes away from the interest rate announcement, guys. So I'm just going to do a bit more of TA on Bitcoin and the S&P 500. Then we're going to jump into the live for the Fed announcement, and then we're going to look at some more stats as well. So let me jump back into the chart of the what are we looking at? We're looking at Bitcoin. So on Bitcoin, again, short term, we can see this bearish continuation pattern we're in. So we would need to break above $23,200 to see that increase we're looking for. And the target for this breakout would be around, this is actually drawn on the 4-hourly chart. So on the 1-hourly chart, it's a bit messy, but we could see an increase to $23,650, so around that area, if we break to the upside. However, if we break to the downside, our bearish continuation, so the bear flag target is $22,000, and our conservative target would be around that $22,600 area. So those two targets would be where I'm looking at. So it's pretty important where we're at right now. We're also touching the resistance, the midway resistance of this parallel channel, this bull flag that we've talked about in the last couple of videos also. So I think that's enough analysis on the charts, and let's have a look at some stats, right? So we want to see some stats. I want to see what's going on with the latest Fed rate decision. I'm going to check through the comments right now as well. Hey, bro, I'm 16. Thank you, guys. I honestly, my mission here is to inspire, kids my age that, really age doesn't matter. If you know what you're doing, if you're willing to put, in the hard work and you're willing to put in the research, you can get, beyond people who are way older than you. So I'm super happy that you guys are inspired, and make sure to follow your passion. If it makes you happy, then make sure to follow your passion. So let's see. It's just been raised to 25 basis points. Okay. Has it been decided? Let's see. Has it been decided? Let me check. Someone in the chat is saying it's been decided to 25 basis points. So let me check very quick. FOMC on Twitter. Just give me 1 second. Let me show my face. Let's do that. So let me check very quick if the 25 basis points is confirmed, but I don't think it is. I think there's still 8 minutes left for the confirmation, but that would be crazy. See, as I said, if we have a 25 basis point increase, which is what is predicted by most banks, that would be good, right? So if we see that 50 basis point increase, then that would be super bearish for Bitcoin, because a 50 basis point increase would mean that, it's just people are forced to save their money when you have a increased, that much increase of an interest rate. And people saving their money obviously means that they're not going to go out and spend their money. So when you don't spend your money, then the economy doesn't turn. And when the economy doesn't turn and people don't spend money, then what happens is that we have a recession. So that's what's very important here. And if that 25 basis point increase comes, then again, that's still bad, but it would be a way better alternative than seeing a 50 basis point increase. So let me check back again. I don't think we have announced officially that it's 25 basis points. Otherwise, I would have gotten a notification. The U.S. Federal raised its benchmark interest rate quarter point. Yes. Okay. So we have seen that 25 basis point increase. So that's awesome. That's beautiful. That's confirmed. So super happy. That is genuinely a good thing that it's been 25 basis points, because otherwise it would have been pretty bad for Bitcoin. So usually what happens is with FOMC, it's not like the CPI. The CPI is where the major price action happens. The FOMC, we could see some good volatility on the S&P and some on Bitcoin, etc. But the real moves are made when the CPI announcements are announced. So just for next time, keep in mind, because this move that we saw, this huge move that we saw, it came from the 6.5% CPI announcement. Now the move was 44%. Right, so FOMC really doesn't make a huge difference, but stuff like the CPI, which on paper determines inflation, which is, I believe, a more interesting point to look at than interest rates, that can cause significant price moves to the upside or to the downside. So make sure to a website I like to use is Forex Factory for different announcements on FOMC, on CPI. So that's the place that I like to use, and if you check out there, there. You can see all the events that are coming up. And also you can use TradingView too. If you want to have a TradingView account, check the link in the description below. You can get up to $30 put towards your new plan on TradingView, which is absolutely amazing. And if you do that, then you can get a very nice discount and see all the economic events. I'm using TradingView right now. I think it's the best charting platform out there. So guys, again, thank you for watching. Leave a like. We're going to check a few more stats. Why not as well? Let me just switch to them. And for the guys that are just joining us, let me stop share this. I'm going to share the screen over here. So Brave tab, we want to see the inflation rate. So this is the most important one that I was talking about. This is the CPI. Now, the CPI dropping at at the 6.5%, which is the lowest since many, many months, right? This caused the massive price increase in Bitcoin, and this was super bullish. Again, the interest rates, the FOMC doesn't cause incredible volatility, but this is what causes the most volatility out there, because this is what measures CPI on paper. So again, watch out for this. You can go to tradingeconomics.com too. You can see all the data over there, and you have different stuff over here: the CPI, rent inflation, energy inflation, etc. So that is pretty important. Now, I think I'm going to end the stream in about 4 minutes. So send me your questions in the chat. I'm going to check through them right now as well. And then we're going to have a final look at the S&P. We're going to have a final look at the DXY, and we can have a look at some of your recommendations as well if you want me to have a look at some other stuff. So I'm just checking the chat right now. There is nothing much. Again, write something if you want to, but if not, I'm going to continue with the analysis right now. So again, it was announced that's 25 basis points. That was the Federal Reserve announcement, and Bitcoin is currently at we're currently at $23,000. So let me jump back into the chart for Bitcoin so we can have a look at it one last time. So BTC USD. Again, this is the daily chart for Bitcoin. This massive run up was caused by the CPI announcement. Then we saw this very, very nice bull flag on Bitcoin, which we broke to the upside, and now we're having another bull flag. However, I think we're in this bull flag for too long of a time now, and we could come back down and form a head and shoulders pattern if we decide to be bearish. The bullish scenario, you can go to a couple of videos back. I said top 5 signs of a bullish case scenario. So cycle back. That was a very, very good video, very TA intensive. So to draw a head and shoulders pattern, you just do this. So boom, left shoulder, boom, and then you have your head, and then boom. And so this could be our left shoulder. Now, this is a very bearish sign. If this happens, then we could potentially head down to around $18,000. That's our next level of major support. However, if we decide to break to the upside, then we would have to go past $24,000. And upon which, if we see major volume and we get back, above these prior swing highs, then we could see a $27,000 $27.6K Bitcoin. And if we get past that, then we can see that $31,000 Bitcoin. But again, we have a couple of milestones to get through before we see all of this happening. And again, MACD fired a sell on the daily chart, which is something I talked about, which is pretty bearish. Also, the stochastic is heading down. It is pretty bearish also, so keep that in mind. And the RSI has just went from oversold to now in the downtrend territory. So keep these in mind. Also watch, I've also made a quick technical analysis tutorial for you guys, which you can learn on how to do technical analysis. Go back, it's the $100 trading video per day one. And if we switch back into the 4-hourly chart once more before I finish off this video, it's that we're seeing this bearish continuation pattern forming on the 4-hourly chart. And the first target, if we break to the downside, is $22,600. If we break down once more, then it's $21,900. However, if we break to the upside from this resistance here, and I believe this resistance, which is a bit more significant, the $23,300 area, we could head back up to $23,647. Again, have a look at the DXY as well. This is pretty important because when the DXY goes up, Bitcoin goes down. When the DXY comes down, Bitcoin goes up. And we could see a mini reversal on the DXY. This could be happening. If we break below where we are, then yeah, we could see further continuation to the downside, in my opinion. However, if we have a mini rally to $104.5, not dollars, but you get it, then we could see a potential comeback down on the price of Bitcoin. And S&P is at a very important level. We're at the 0.65 golden pocket ratio on the Fibonacci. So make sure to keep an eye on that as well. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I think I'm going to end it off here. We have seen that 25 basis point increase. Again, appreciate you all for watching. And there is a speech right now by the Fed chair. I would keep on going because, just go and watch the official Federal Reserve. Let me share it with you one more time. Actually, let me go to the Twitter home research. And so you can guys watch it. He's basically giving a speech after every time that the interest rates are revealed. He gives a mini speech after each release. And this could heavily influence prices as well afterwards, because the stuff he says is pretty important as well, additionally to the data. So let me share the link to how to actually watch it. So let me go Twitter, so share there. And guys, follow me on Twitter. Also, make sure to follow me on Twitter. I post a lot of stuff here too. So let me go to Federal Reserve. So go to Federal Reserve on Twitter, and it is the top one, I believe. Yeah, this is the one. So you got to go and watch here. This is the official stream. Let me just check very quick if that's the case, if they're showing it over here right now. I don't think so. Yes, it started. It's about to start. So make sure to go there right now and watch what's going on. I would stay on stream, but it is pretty late for me, and I kind of want to head out and sleep. But make sure to check that out right now, and see what's happening. If he says stuff that's pretty bad for the economy, then it could affect the price of Bitcoin pretty heavily. But if anything significant happens, I will update you guys on the Telegram channel. So make sure to join. It's in the link in the description below, completely for free. And I will update you guys there before I go to bed. So guys, again, thank you so much for watching. Again, join that, use that link, and you can watch the speech of the chair of the Fed chair, and that's a pretty important speech to watch to see what can happen on the charts of Bitcoin. So guys, again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you guys with another video hopefully tomorrow. So take care, guys, and I'll see you. Bye-bye.